Before we get started with another great edition of the Duke Loves Rasslin podcast, I do want to let you know, Zencastr.com. That's right, Zencastr.com. They are without a doubt my favorite website to head over to for all of these great conversations that you hear on the Duke Loves Rasslin podcast. Superior quality in sound. Also, they have a great video option as well if you need to record your videos. But the best part about it is the files are all split separately into MP3s. So you can edit them separately, you can put them together, do whatever you got to do. The main idea is Zencastr. Zencastr.com. That's Zencastr. For all of your podcasting, video conferencing, even if you just want to have a great conversation with your loved ones. All your needs there online for communication, Zencastr has you covered. That's right.
You're locked in.
Look at what we have here, folks.
To the only show that matters.
The cream of the crop.
Duke Loves Rasslin.
And there is no one that does it better than
your host.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
The Duke.
And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Brothers, sisters, non-binaries, extraterrestrials, and everybody else in between. Welcome back to the Duke Loves Rasslin podcast, the show about pro wrestling and everything else. This is a short clip, and I'm only going to cover one topic on this short clip for the week here to get you started on this wonderful Monday. Vincent Kennedy McMahon has made a triumphant return to the WWE in the form of the board of directors. Okay, so somehow, some way, Vincent Kennedy McMahon had the power and authority to not only reinstall himself to the WWE board of directors, but he also has the authority to kick other members off of the board of directors, which he ceremoniously did. Kicked 3 members off the board of directors, and then he installed the 2 former co-presidents of World Wrestling Entertainment Incorporated. We're talking about Michelle Wilson and George Barrios, the 2 people who were removed just a few short years ago in favor of Nick Khan, who eventually was installed. So this is very interesting on many fronts. Vince McMahon, he's back, and he's made his intention very clear. He is back to help facilitate a sale of World Wrestling Entertainment Incorporated. Okay, so he's looking to sell the company, and because he is the controlling shareholder of World Wrestling Entertainment Incorporated, Vincent Kennedy McMahon, because he is the controlling shareholder, no sale of the company can happen. No new television contract for airing of WWE programming can happen. Really, nothing financially can happen in that company without Vincent Kennedy McMahon signing off on it. And he made it clear he will not sign off on any deal that does not include him leading the discussions, leading the negotiations. And let me tell you something. The humanoids, the skinny jean wearers, the flavored malt beverage folks out there, the folks who are not top shelf, they are up in arms about all of this. Oh my God, I can't believe it. He's coming back. He's going to ruin everything. Why is he coming back? The humanoidistas, you know? It's really amazing to hear all the complaints about this. And I just sit back and I chuckle. I chuckle because, let me ask you a question. I want you to take away everything that you've seen from the humanoids, especially the humanoids in pro wrestling media, because make no mistake about it. These folks are the most unrealistic, out of touch people with anything that resembles real life that you've ever seen in your life. I'm serious. Like, it's as if the most delusional people walking the face of the planet are somehow, some way part of pro wrestling media. You know, and I use that term loosely because anyone can be part of media. You just say you're part of media because you're posting a bunch of rumors and made up nonsense and you know, regurgitating whatever Dave Meltzer or Paywall Jesus Sean Ross Sapp says. But anyway, it's interesting. They're having complete meltdowns over this. Let me ask you a question, though, because I know that you listening right now, the majority of you, not the hate listeners, not the skinny jeans, flavored malt beverage folks, the top shelf folks, you listening right now, let me ask you a question. If you own something, it is yours, right? Even if you allow people to put in on it, they can invest in your business, but you own 80% of the business. Why would you ever allow decisions to be made, major decisions, including the sale of a business? Why would you ever allow that to happen without you having something to do with it, most of the something to do with it? Huh? They could be selling it to anyone. Your business that you built up, right? That you developed, that you made one of the most successful entertainment brands on the face of the earth. You're just going to let people who couldn't tie their shoe properly, you're going to let them control the fate of your creation? Are you kidding me? Why would you ever do that? Of course, Vince McMahon is going to come back, take control of what's rightfully his, and do as he pleases with it. And he should. The problem with the humanoids, the skinny jean wearers, the flavored malt beverage crowd, they're not even on the shelf. You can't even say that they're not only are they not top shelf, they're not on the shelf. They're too busy, you know, in the back of the liquor store freezer with the rest of the discount flavored malt beverage. They certainly aren't in the special behind the counter shelf. You know that. They're not behind the lock and key. You know that, right? When you walk into the bar or the 5-star establishment, no one needs a ladder to go and get this off of the top shelf because they're not even on the shelf. That's who they are. But for us, for the rest of us, we understand what this is, right? We understand what this is. It's his. It's a business. Nobody cares about who your favorite wrestler is, what your favorite match is, and how many stars you want to give it, how entertained you are by anything. No one cares. It's a business. And because it's a business, and because it's about dollars and cents, because it's about legacy, right? There is only one person in the universe who has a right to do whatever the hell they want with that company and who has the authority to do it, and that's Vincent Kennedy McMahon. And you have a choice, humanoids, humanoidistas, skinny jeans wearers. You have a choice. You don't have to watch it. You don't have to talk about it. You can ignore it for the rest of your life. But you just can't, can you? You can't. You know why? Because secretly, you love it. You're like a masochist, okay? You cannot control what's happening with the WWE. You can't make Vince McMahon go away, and it hurts you, but you have to keep paying attention and talking about it and giving it attention and crying and having meltdowns, and he was supposed to be in trouble because of the NDAs. Meanwhile, Vincent Kennedy McMahon, with his bodacious pecs, he's flexing, he's out there strutting his stuff, he's out there laughing, at all of you. Why? Because once again, he's outmaneuvered you. Did you really think New Coke, Triple H, was somehow, some way going to be able to take credit for all of the hard work that Vincent Kennedy McMahon has put out there for the past 40 years? Are you kidding me? Did you think daughter Stephanie was going to usher in some kind of sale of the company and be able to take credit for that? Are you kidding me? Nick Khan, the outsider, you think he was going to get credit for this? Are you kidding me? They brought in JP Morgan Chase, right? Vincent Kennedy McMahon said, listen, no sale is happening without me, and I'm going to determine where we're going, if we go. And here's the best part. Watch the humanoids now. Turn to your left, turn to your right. Look at the humanoids right now. Here's the best part. There is a possibility that World Wrestling Entertainment Incorporated will not be sold. And instead of remaining public, they're going to take the company private again. Oh my God. Let me tell you something. As Ric Flair would say, whether you like it or you don't like it, learn to love it because it's the best thing going today. Okay? This is the best thing that could ever happen to pro wrestling on many fronts. And this is where you humanoids are just missing the boat. There is no question about the fact that All Elite Wrestling is tanking right now. The experiment is failing. And the reason why is because you have a guy who's never run a wrestling organization before trying to run a wrestling organization. And he's done a very poor job of it because he felt that he, Tony Khan, could do it all himself. And clearly he can't. He should have had wrestling people, real wrestling people, not active performers, real wrestling people managing this thing to keep it stable. Tony has just not done a good job of that. There is a strong possibility that they are not going to get renewed by Warner Brothers Discovery. They certainly are not going to get the 4X, 5X that Brandon Howard Thurston III from WrestleNomics Radio, hi Brandon. They're certainly not going to get the 4X, 5X increase on their contract that Brandon has predicted that they're worth. They're not worth that, by the way, Brandon. I don't know where that math came from. You must have got it from your boy Mookie Harrington. But, AEW's in trouble. People are turning the channel. People are not showing up to their live events as much, which is why Tony keeps inflating those numbers. He's probably buying the tickets himself, right? Because you can look in the audience and you can see people aren't showing up. Not en masse like they used to. This whole CM Punk thing is still a mess. And if he comes back, maybe that'll give him a shot in the arm, but it's a mess. You got Brian Danielson, saying he doesn't want to sell T-shirts. He's over here dictating to the person in charge, the person paying him, what he's going to do in terms of merchandise. So you can't even capitalize on him the way that you could, right? Just flushing money down the toilet with a guy like him, who's a legitimate superstar, which is the irony of that, right? I wonder if he's doing that on purpose, by the way. I'm on to you, Danielson. But, AEW's tanking. And there's a possibility that they could cease to exist because of this, because it's just a money pit. Forget about the fact that it's Tony's dream. It's a money pit. It's not a good investment right now. But when you see WWE is entertaining discussion about selling, now you're in a situation where, well, wait a second. If this company gets sold and it's run by somebody else, there is a possibility that they won't be as robust, that they won't be as entertaining, that they won't be as interesting. They may not even be as attractive as WWE with McMahon at the top. So now, for a guy like Tony Khan, if he could tough it out for another 4 or 5 years, do another 4 or 5 years of investment, meaning that you're just going to lose money every year, there is a possibility that Tony could maneuver and get enough former WWE superstars to rebuild AEW in a manner that makes it entertaining enough that people will actually start paying more attention and actually start investing in that company more. And you could find yourself in a situation when you actually are competing with the WWE. So this is interesting. The sale of WWE could keep AEW alive. Because now, if you have the money, we know Tony does, maybe Tony can convince Daddy, hey, Dad, give me another 5 years. Let's see what's going to happen with this WWE thing. I think we can turn this around and we can actually make some money. Now it gets interesting, right? So, humanoidistas, skinny jeans wearers, flavored malt beverage folks, calm down. We got a long way to go here, but what matters most is Vincent Kennedy McMahon. He bought that company from his daddy. He gave him $1 million. His dad didn't have to take the deal, but he did. He gave him $1 million to that company. Why would he ever let his family just take it from him and then get the glory for what's about to happen? Because at this point, I don't believe that WWE will be as valuable ever again in our lifetime compared to what it is today, adjusted for inflation and all that good stuff. So this is the perfect time to sell We are at the peak, right? Perfect time to sell. And Vince, absolutely, it's his. He should be able to do whatever he wants with it. So that is a special report to kick off your week. DukeLovesWrestling@gmail.com. Duke Loves Wrestling on Twitter, on Facebook, Instagram, the whole 9 yards there. Now, I want you to go out into the world and have a fantastic day. 2023. You better believe it. And of course, never forget, be kind to yourselves and be kind to others. Take it away, Tony Schiavone.
This is Tony Schiavone, and we're desperately out of time on Duke Loves Wrestling.